Hello all. So today we are going to see about Snort IDS IPS configuration and how it works. So that is an idea. Let's start. So Snort is an IDS IPS tool which will use to detect the attacks as well as it has the capability to prevent the attacks. So Intrusion Detection System and Intrusion Prevention System. So this tool has both the capabilities. Okay, cool. So when you want to install the tool inside your Kali Linux, I would suggest go with the updated Kali. And once you, I think if you are using a latest Kali, probably the repository is also updated. So where you can execute this command apt installs not. Okay, so this is my Kali machine inside a VM. Let me click this Kali symbol where I can see root terminal, right? So or if you type root terminal, it will come root. You can get this red color one, right? So double click it and you have to give your password. Why we are doing this? Because we need a root privilege to access uh, or execute few of the snot related commands. That's why we are doing this. Okay, let me enlarge this. Yeah, so as we saw, to install snot we have to type apt install snort, snort. So in my case, I already installed snort, so I'm getting snort is already the new version, so which is an updated one. To check the version, there is another way. We can see it in the slide. Snort space minus minus version. So if you type it, you're able to see the current version of the snort which you installed. Okay, so I'm going to type the same snort space minus minus version. As you see here, the version is 3.12.2.0. This is the latest version. I am using a Snort plus plus, which means the advanced Snort. And as you see, it was invented by the Sourcefire around 1993, 1998. I'm sorry. Between 98 to 2013, Sourcefire only hold the copyright. Later, the Sourcefire company itself acquired by Cisco. So currently Cisco is having the copyrights. Anyway, this is an open source tool where the millions of users contributing to the rule creation as well as they are using the Snort tool on day-to-day basis. They will either directly use it or they create a UA layer for the Snort and the backend Snort will run and they, on top of it they run their own UI. Okay, so that way they are running it. In our case, we are only going to deal with the terminal. So from the terminal itself, we are going to access not and how the functions works. We'll see via the terminal. Okay, cool. So we check the version. The next thing is we have to check the configuration file. Basically, Snort have a separate configuration file which is snort.lua where you can see, right? So which is inside the location of etc/snort. So we'll get inside the location and be able to see this one. Once we saw this, we'll try to read that one. Okay, and I came back to Kali. So let me type the command series please etc/snort snort enter. So as you see my current location, I am inside etc/snort. You can check with the command pwd print working directory. So this is the location I am in. Let me type ls to list the files. ls enter. You can see snort.lua. So the current updated version of snort, which is version 3, is completely written by the language called lua. Lua is nothing but a programming language like python. How you do python scripting, You can also do a Lua scripting. For your reference, Snort only is like Snort is using Lua, right? Even Nmap is using Lua. So the Nmap scripts are written with the Lua scripting language. Okay, cool. So let's take a look inside this snort.lua. To do that, I'm going to type. I already have a root privilege, but in case if you are not having a root privilege, you have to type sudo space mousepad space slash. Sorry, you can give this direct file name snort.lua. If you when I click enter, there will be another window which open. It has detail of snort.lua. As you see here, this is the file which we try to read. Okay, so this is a basic snort configuration file. So in traditional sense, we usually have .conf extension, but here they come up with the .lua to speed up the process. So this will be much more efficient than traditional configuration file. That's why they are using the .lua extension, and they mention all the details here. So specifically, if you come down, there is an option called alert fast. Okay, so if the alert fast is not enabled, we unable to see the log files. If it is enabled, then only we able to see the logs which we stored. Okay, so in this case, there is alert that fast, right? Previously, it was like it looked like this. Okay, so what I did, I simply removed this minus minus. Then the see previously it looked like exactly this. Okay, for this alert first. So inside that, I set file equal to true, comma. Then the next line limit equal to 10. Okay, I have I have add this line like from 261. I edited this. I simply removed that minus minus symbol. Then I edited this 4 lines. Okay, you should not touch anything else. You simply care about this alert underscore first. Okay, this is one thing. There is another thing we have to do, which is adding a local script. So what I did, the line number 182, right, where you can see configuration detection. So in this, I have add these lines. Like you can literally copy paste these lines. Okay, so inside IPS, I am trying to get a variable. This is a default variable. Rule equal to include space slash etc not slash rules slash local dot rules. So if you are configuring any local rules, it will get stored in this file, and we are calling this file via the configuration file. So Snort will come to know the rule which is existing. Okay, so once you did, simply click a save symbol. Anyway, I already did it, that's why it is disabled to me, but for you it will look like this. So once you click it, it will get saved. Click this symbol, not this one. Okay, so click it. I Once it gets saved, you can you have to verify it. Anyway, we'll check the slide and come back. So first we edited the file, right? The next one we have to do is to check the rule files. We have to get inside the location called etc snort rules. Okay, so let's get in. Cd space slash etc snort and rules. So this is the file location. If I click enter, where I can see the list of rules which is predefined. When you download Snort, these rules are getting downloaded, so you can go and check it here. And this one, in this location, you can specifically see local dot rules. So if you want to edit or add or remove any sort of a rules, you can do it here. So what I can do, I will open this file via mousepad. Since I am a root user, I don't need to use sudo, but in case if you are not a root user, you have to type sudo. Okay, sudo space mousepad and space like local dot, I'm sorry, dot rules, it will open a separate window, right? So when you open at very first time, if you didn't give any rules, generally this will look like this like you can only see first 6 lines. There won't be any any rules. Okay, so for now I'll save it, I'll keep it as as original. We'll go back to the slide. So we change the directory, we check the rules. The next one, what we have to do, we have to check for the log directory. By default, the log directory will be there. In case if you unable to see, if you are getting an error message, that time we have to create a log file. So in my case, it is already there, but anyway, we'll check it first. I'll close this window. We'll come back to this later. Cd space slash yeah, where logs not, right, slash var where log and snort. So luckily for me, the directory is already existing. Okay. In case if you are unable to see, if you are getting any error message saying that the directory is not there, that time you have to execute these two commands. First, you have to execute sudo mkdir -p slash var slash logs slash not. Once you did, you have to change the permission by using sudo space chmod 777 again, followed by that particular location. Once you did, things are like log directory is up and running. So you don't need to bother about the log files hereafter. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, to check the log enabled on the configuration file, as I said earlier, we can get inside etc snort. So this one we already did it. We simply change from minus alert to alert flash. Also inside the alert flash, we gave that file equal to true. Hope you remember, right? So these steps we already did it. So we can simply disable it. So this minus, right? Generally, if it is minus in any scripts, that is a comment file, which means comment line, which means that particular line is getting disabled temporarily. In case if you want to use it, that time you can simply remove this minus and that line will get enabled. That exactly happened when we try to edit this file, right? So the color changed from blue to white. Hope you remember. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay, before doing anything, we need to check the IP address, like IP address by using IP space ADDR, where you can see the list of interfaces, right? So I will execute the same IP space ADDR. There are you can even use a if config, that is totally up to you, but this will give a proper segregation. So see, there is the first is L0, which is a local host. Sorry, LO, it is a local host. Another one is ETH0, that is the actual network adapter which I am using with this machine. Okay, so this is where we have to listen basically, and we have to remember my IP, this calling machine's IP. Why? Because to check the alert, we are going to send the packet to this particular location from the base machine. So that time we have to remember. So for now, I will remember 159. This is my machine's address, so I'll remember it. I'll go back to the next slide. Okay. So now we are coming to the situation where by using an IDS we are going to detect the data packets. Okay. To do that, what we are going to do, we have to specifically mention. So here we are going to identify ICMP ping network scan. Okay, by using an IDS. To do that, we have to create a rule under this local, inside the local.rules file. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll simply copy this rule. Just a second. I will escape this. I'll simply copy it. I copied. Okay. Now I'll go back to Kali machine where etc is not rules. Inside the local dot rules, I will add this line. Okay. Uh, yeah. So slash etc slash snort. I'm sorry, snort slash rules slash local dot rules. Okay. So I already know the location. That's why I type this way, or you can simply copy paste it if you want. Sudo space mousepad, and we are opening this particular directory. Let me the particular file. Let me open it. As we saw earlier, there is no additional line, means rule. I am going to add the rule by simply pasting it. So here we are trying to create a alert for ICMP packet from any source with any source port number to any destination with any port number. Okay, simply it has to trigger a message saying hello ICMP scan detector. So just to differentiate, hello Balaji, I will put Balaji name so that we can easily identify that this is a rule which we created. Okay, and we have to give an SID. We already had a discussion about SID. What is SID? This is a signature ID. Okay, so who are creating a separate rule, they have to create after 1 lakh, right? So that's why it become 1 lakh 1, and version number is 1. So I keep it as save. See, now the save button is enabled. I will save it. Once I did this save option, I will close this one. Now we updated the rule, right? Cool. So once you updated the rule, we have to make sure that the local.rule file, which is enabled inside the snort.lua, we already did it when we open the snort.lua file, right? So this step is already done. Once you done the configuration, we have to make sure that given details are proper. So to do that, we have to check the configuration by using a snort command. Snort space minus c, and c means configuration file. So the file is slash etc snort.lua space minus t. This will help us to check the configurations were proper. In case if we made any syntax error on the rule, that time we'll get an error message or warning. Okay, so we'll try to run this command. uh, I will do one thing. I will, yeah, snort space minus c slash etc slash snort slash snort.lua, which means that config file snort.lua and minus t. So now it will check the configuration. If the configuration is proper, we'll get a success message. As you see here, it's not successfully validated and configured. Okay, so there is no issues, there is no warning. So we did it properly. Okay, cool. Now we'll go to the next slide. Yeah. So in this one, we are start running the snort with ETH0 adapter, and we are trying to get the alert first function. Basically, we already defined it. So we are creating an alert first function, and we are saving that alert first logs inside by using minus L, and we have to give the location of the log file. So where log snort. Inside this location, this alert.first will save as .txt file, and minus k none to skip the checksum validation. Okay. So for each and every value, I gave the explanation. You can simply read it once again. So for now, I'm going to copy this entire command. Just a second. This command, I'm simply copying it. Right click, copy. Now I'll go back to my Kali machine. Okay. Let me paste this. So sudo space not minus c means we have to give the configuration file, and I'm going to do this detection on the ETH0 adapter, and minus a alert first means it will create that alert message, and that will get stored as a log file, okay, inside snort. Okay, when I run this, you can see it is listening on ETH0. So what I have to do now, we already know my IP is 192.168.0.159 59 means this calling machine's IP. I'm going to send a ping message from my local machine. Okay, so to do that, I am opening the terminal and type the command called ping space minus c. So I'm going to send 4 packets. That's why minus c 4 space 192.168.0.159. Let enter this command. So request timeout is coming, but anyway, this whatever the data packets which transfer to that machine, definitely IDS must have detected it. Okay, so we'll go back here and let me stop this by using Control plus C. It is getting stopped. Just wait for a couple of minutes. Those packets get stored inside var slash log slash not. So you can simply check ls space slash. We already in the location. In case if you are not in the same location, you can check like this: var space log slash not. Okay, enter. You can see alert.fast file is there. So I can use a cat command to read the file. Cat, and we have to give the file name after the slash alert. I'll type tab. So we are going to read it. So as I said earlier, like this is the this is a rule set which we mentioned, right? So hello Balaji, ICMP scan is detected. So right now the ICMP packet is getting detected properly from my Windows means from my Mac machine to virtual calling machine where the snort is getting hosted. Okay, so we can see the source IP, destination IP, everything, as well as the signature ID along with the version number, and what protocol it is trying to detect. Every detail we come to know. Okay, cool. Let me. So successfully we have completed. We send the request to the target machine, and we got the response as we expected. Okay, yeah, I hope the basic lab is completed. We'll see in the very next session. Thank you all.